So what's the number one thing that determines our entire reality? The number one thing that determines our entire reality is our vision of the future, our future selves. And I've recently learned this new way of manifesting my reality by dialoguing and communicating with my future self. And basically what you can do is you can create this new version of yourself, maybe 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, who's basically the person that you want to become, who's basically the person where the money that you want is normal, the success that you want is normal, the people that you're surrounded by is normal. They're currently in that 10-year version of yourself, or that 3-year version of yourself, is already living out that current reality. And you get to step into that new version of yourself. You can imagine yourself, literally just close your eyes and imagine yourself floating out of your body into that future self and start living out how they are living their life. Feel the feelings, feel the emotions, see what they see, hear what they hear, experience what they experience. You see, our current reality is dictated by our future reality, the way we see ourselves in the future. If we can determine the way that we see ourselves in the future, it gives us direction, it gives us a point of focus. And so many people are not clear on who they are becoming, and so they're just living their lives based on what's coming at them. And what we have to do, we have to begin to create this future version of ourselves and then commit to becoming that future version of ourselves, and then eliminating any distractions that don't align with that future version of yourself. And that's the key thing. My future version is a little bit more of a holistic approach and becoming a whole man. I believe I've worked on myself quite a lot and I feel very good within myself. But my whole approach to life is more holistic. I believe to see myself as a holistic coach. And, I want to involve the spiritual. I want to involve the health. I want to involve the love. I want to involve the finances. I want to have it all. I want to be the type of person who's covered all areas. And so I have a vision for myself. I have a vision of the way that I perceive myself emotionally, mentally, physically, right? Spiritually, the money, the finances, the success, the world travel. I have a vision of where I'm going. Okay. And that's the key. You want to design that new version of yourself, that 2.0 version of yourself. And then once you've designed that new future version of yourself, you want to go and embody it. You want to go and work on becoming it 100%. And you can even communicate with it by basically going into it, like I shared with you before, and feeling the emotions of what it feels like to be that version of yourself. And then start being that from today. Start working on the process of becoming that today. This is how you manifest the future reality. This is how you become and create the reality that you want. But also, one of the key things that you want to do to add to this is you want to have 1 or 2, no more than 3 main things that you will catapult, that will accelerate, that will be a catalyst to your success. Okay, and my catalyst is basically just doing YouTube videos, because basically through my advice giving, through my guidance, through my knowledge, my experience, I need to learn more about my health. Like I've studied multiple different areas. I've studied sleep, I've studied memory, I've studied the brain, I've studied the subconscious mind, I've studied neuro-linguistic programming, I've studied energy healing. I have a bunch of different modalities that I can do. I speak light language, I can do light language with my hands. I've done ayahuasca, I've experienced a lot, and I have a lot of experience. I've been through PTSD, I've helped people with trauma, I've healed my own trauma, I've helped people overcome sexual abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse. But I want to continue learning, right? I want to continue studying and becoming a greater version of myself in all the areas that I just described. And so I want to become masterful in all of these different areas. However, the main channel, the main focus in order to facilitate that, the main thing that's gonna sort of motivate me to do that is actually being a service to you. So this is the domino effect. You know when you have the loads of dominoes and you knock them down and it goes blah, 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 right? Building a YouTube channel in this specific niche of personal growth, spirituality, self-help, right? In this space, it's almost as if it requires me to become a greater version of myself automatically. So not only do I want to be a greater version of myself for you, so I can serve you to the highest level, I want to go ahead and do that for myself. So there's an intrinsic motivation, an internal motivation, and there's an external motivation there. And so with that being said, it leads to that main goal, that main future version of myself, where I want to be a whole man. Not that I'm not a whole man already, but I want to become more whole. Like I want to grow and expand and just become greater and greater. And so for doing this, I'm going to be continuing to do what I do already, which is studying, learning, hiring coaches, hiring mentors, learning new healing modalities, going to seminars, workshops, meeting new people, networking, collaborations, things like this. It's all going to allow me to grow and become a greater version of myself. And it's going to auto magically lead to that outcome of becoming that person that I have in my mind. I have an image of a visualization. I have something in my mind that's a target. And everything else that doesn't align with that target is kind of irrelevant in a way. So for example, partying and drinking and smoking and all this stuff doesn't necessarily resonate with me. Well, it hasn't resonated with me for a long time now, but I'm saying that that's sort of like a distraction to me being on my path. And that's what you have to do. And for me, like being on the phone too much right now is a distraction from me being on my path. Instead of being on my phone, I could be reading a book and studying, which will lead me to the outcome that I want, right? Or not that I play video games. I'm just bringing this example up because I know people play video games. If I were the type of person to be playing video games all the time, that would be a distraction to where I want to be and what I want to achieve. Does that make sense? And so this is what you need to realize is, number one, again, you want to know what is that future version of yourself? And then number two, what is the domino effect? What is that number one thing that's going to knock down everything else and sort of create blinders of where you're going and what you want to achieve? You see, most people are becoming a major in minor things, and they're very creative, especially within our space of the spiritual community, and they want to do this and that and whatever it is. Not that that's wrong, because that can be right and that can be your way of doing things. However, sometimes it's better to take all of your focus and channel it into a few areas and become masterful on those few things. And so for me, I want to become masterful, even more so masterful at creating YouTube content. I want to become a better speaker. I want to work on my ums and ahs and pausing when I speak instead of rushing. I want to speak more clearly, and I want to be able to teach in a way where it's absorbed by the different learning modalities or learning styles. Everyone learns differently. Some people learn kinesthetically. Some people learn audibly. Some people, like to be spoken in a way where it's about time. Some people like to be spoken to when it's about emotion, right? Some people need a visual to it. Everyone learns differently. So I just want to become masterful at creating YouTube content. One of the main things on YouTube is having people watch your video all the way through, because that leads to your video getting promoted on YouTube. And when you like as well, when you comment, that really supports my video. So I need to be able to influence you to go ahead and comment and like and have you watch all the way through whilst providing high value content, not just sharing content for no reason. And so these are all the things that I can become better at and master. And by doing that, I'm becoming a greater version of myself. I'm becoming that infinite version of myself. I'm becoming who I want to become, whilst helping you and serving you at the same time. As I'm growing, you're growing, and we're all growing together. And so I'm creating that, I'm manifesting that lifestyle, manifesting that reality of the finances, of the success, of the traveling, of working on my emotional intelligence, of dealing with my spirituality, doing more meditation, doing more practices. Like one of the things that I'm working on right now is my stress. And so I've bought a supplement called ashwagandha that will help with my mental health in terms of my stress. And I've been doing meditation more recently. Now, this is all about a part of becoming a greater version of you. There's so many aspects, and I find it very exciting. But again, for you, you need to find out who do you want to become. You need to know who do you want to become. What do you really, really want? All right. And once you identify that, what is the number one domino effect that's going to make that all happen for you? Now, sometimes your subconscious patterns, your subconscious identity is going to block that future reality. And your vibration, also your energy, is going to block that future reality. And these blocks and these subconscious patterns is, through my experience and through my research, is the number one thing. Energy and the subconscious mind are the number one things that block your future reality. Okay, and so what we're offering right now is free energy readings to find out what's blocking you, okay? And to determine what vibrational frequency you resonate at. Okay, once you figure out your vibrational frequency, you know where you are, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about where you need to be and how to get there in the fastest and easiest way possible. You can do that by adding us to WhatsApp on screen right now, add our telephone number, send us a message, or scan on screen right now, or go to whatsappgavin.com, and then you're able to go ahead and send us a message and get that free energy reading. And check this video out over here on how to involve God in your goals. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.